Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Sim Racing Network's presentation of the Sim500 Transervice Cup Series at Las Vegas. Brought to you by Transervice. And Don, we've got one hell of a race in store tonight. We've got fast cars, a slick track, crappy tires, and a loose setup.
A lot of gambling going on tonight here in Vegas. It's going to be a fun race, loose race cars, fast race cars, hot racetrack. It's going to be a recipe for some fun.
I see a lot of dented fenders and pissed off tempers tonight, man. What do you think about that?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some hurt feelings tonight, some bent fenders. Some guys are probably going to be upset with each other later on tonight. This track is really wide, but it's really hot, really fast, and these guys are going to be slipping and sliding all over the place.
Well, I'm sitting here watching qualifying, and last week we had the number 96 of Mitch Rollo dominate this race, Don. I mean, he dominated Atlanta in very convincing fashion. Not all the laps were led by him, unfortunately. He was tied up with a lapped race car last week, and I'm watching his qualifying run, and he's already off to a bad start here. He just pounded the wall there on the outside, coming out of four. So, he's definitely only got that one next chance to get a decent lap down. We'll see what he does with it.
Yeah, these cars are definitely be hard to handle. The High Line is a fast way around here, but at the same time, that's where you're going to abuse your tires. And you definitely, since you're closer to that wall, there's a better chance that you might tag that wall and get sucked into it. And that's definitely not something you want to have happen to you tonight. Because usually, usually you get close to that wall, it can sometimes just kind of grab you, hold on to you. And sometimes guys will tend to overcorrect to get off the wall. They might come back in front of traffic. I mean, you can get some big wrecks here, but we're hoping to see a lot of green flag racing tonight.
And if we do see a lot of green flag racing, we'll also see a lot of really slick race cars. Track temp right now is 105. It was 120 during practice. We got a lot of cloud cover over the track tonight, Don, so it's possible that it will cool off a little bit more, give it a little bit extra grip, but there's still going to be some pretty slick race conditions out there. Don't forget, this is one of those progressive banking tracks, as they call it. So, you got some really crazy lines going down there into 1 and 2. You can actually run really well from the middle up. And then a lot of these guys like to keep it down low going through, 3 and 4.
Yeah, you're going to see the lines changing a lot as the race goes on, as tire wear becomes more constant, as fuel runs out and the cars get a little lighter. You're definitely going to see these guys going all over the place, trying different lines, trying to just find the speed and find the grip out there.
Well, they're gridding right now. And, excuse me,
As my colleague there chokes, we'll seek medical attention for him there. Right now we're showing Adam Gilliland as our pole setter as qualifying is winding down. They only have about 30 seconds left to get a lap in, and we might see some guys here at the very end that either haven't gotten a fast lap in or just haven't put in a lap in. Maybe we'll see some of those guys be a spoiler here.
spoilers are always fun, but I'm really surprised at Gilliland's fast lap there. But then again, he was fastest in practice also. He ran a 29.802. He backed that up and then some here in qualifying. Right now he sits on the pole with a 29.775, and if it stands, which I think it does, qualifying's now over, that's a hell of a lap, Don.
Yeah, it's a great lap for him there. And you were talking about Mitch Rollo recovering from his first lap. He's going to qualify third tonight.
Yeah, that's an outstanding comeback for a guy who only got one lap there. I look for Mitch to be very dominant again. I know for a fact that those guys at Crossover Motorsports were doing a lot of practice at this track this week, setting up different conditions on track, as far as rubber buildup, tire temperature, track temperature and stuff like that. So we'll keep our eyes on that. And folks, we're going to go ahead and run down the top 10 qualifying order for you right now. Qualifying on the pole for the Transervice Cup Series here at Las Vegas is Adam Gilliland with a fast time of 29.775 and car number 81. To his outside and starting spot number 2, Anthony DeBarro, that Coors Light fast-looking Camry right there. He came in with a 29.789, and he's going to be rolling off second.
Rolling off in the third position is going to be number 96 of our own Mitch Rollo, and next to him is going to be the number 19 of Gabriel Perry.
Rolling in inside of row 3 there, Chad Cole in the 82. To his outside, David Comstock, another guy that had a dominant run last night in the B cars here at Las Vegas. He's going to be rolling out 6th.
And next to him is going to be Lionel Castellio. I'm going to mess his name up. Thank you, Callisto. Thank you. You said it. You know the name.
Yeah.
And next to him, another one that's going to tie my tongue, number 39 of Daniel Falkenheim.
Wow, I love you, man. Inside row 5 is going to be the number 40 car of Trey Edson. And then to his outside, Scott Stenzel, fresh back from a truck run at Vegas in that number 24 car. That's our top 10, folks. And real quick, I tell you, Don, this is one of my favorite tracks to run in the B car, not so much in this A car.
Yeah, definitely. The A car is really, really hard to run for me anyway here at Vegas. I really like the trucks. I really like the B car here, but these A cars, I mean, we're going to have a huge update for iRacing tomorrow, so this is probably going to be the last time these guys are going to have to battle with the way these cars are tonight. We're going to see a whole different car starting tomorrow.
Absolutely, and I look forward to that. I really do, to be honest with you. Now, folks, we're going to give you a special treat tonight. We got an in-car reporter, Glenn Campbell, in the 44. Glenn, this is John up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, John, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great, buddy. Looks like you're starting pretty deep in the field there in 34th. Is it just a bad qualifying run, or is this something you planned on?
All right, you got a lot of good drivers out here, and you're a couple tenths off, and that's all it takes. You end up back here in the back. Not necessarily a bad thing.
So what kind of strategy are you going to just kind of take it easy here for a little while? You've got 134 laps in this car tonight in Vegas. What's your plan?
Absolutely wait for it to come to me. The track will change with its dynamic weather. You'll get tight, it'll get loose. Just stay out of trouble and mind my P's and Q's.
All right, Glenn, we're going to let you get buckled in there and get everything warmed up, bud, and good luck tonight.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
That was Glenn Campbell, the driver of the Transervice number 44 Chevy Camaro down there in 34th starting spot there, Don. He's got his work cut out for him tonight.
He definitely does. Deep in the field, he's got to make his way up through the pack and do it clean and try to avoid all the nonsense that might happen in front of him.
And a bunch of nonsense, as you say, is something we hope to avoid tonight. These guys put on a great show last night in that B car. That car handles so much differently than this A car. So here we go. Don, the pace car is coming out of 4. Now the lights are off. The guys are stacked up 2 by 2 by 2. And then we're going green here shortly. Pace car is off. And they're coming to the start box now. And here we go, folks. We are off. The Transervice Cup Series 134, I guess is how they call it, is off. And the Gilliland gets out to a really great start. About 2 car lengths going down turn 1. They're going to go single file. DeBarlo takes second spot there. Mitch Rollo in third. But Mitch has his hands full down the inside with teammate Chad Cole at 82.
Yeah, right now these guys are just going to search for lines, search for places where they want to run around the track, kind of get settled in, just kind of feel the race out, kind of early on. That's what you want to do. You want to kind of feel this race out and just see how it's going to run for you. Maybe see how your car is going to run in certain lines early on with this tire having so much grip on it.
They're kind of single file right now, all the way back to about, looks like 13th or 14th. And they're kind of just trying to, kind of sort it out. They don't want to get too pushy right now. And one thing we saw last night, the better you take care of your tires early in the run, the better off you are. And that's what we look for tonight. These guys just kind of single file, give each other a lot of room here, and just let these cars settle in and get a feel for how this track's going to react.
I think what's going to separate a lot of guys tonight is that the guys that are going to run really hard early on, the first 10, 15 laps of their tire runs, I think those guys are really going to regret that later on in the run. And some guys are just better with taking care of tires than other guys. So I think that's really, if we get long green flag runs, I think that's what you're going to see separate these guys tonight, is the ones that knows how to take care of tires and the ones that don't.
Absolutely, and that's something that driver of the number 42 car, Dave Comstock, he's really good at that. He's always been like a master, really, of just taking care of his equipment, not getting in too much trouble, not being too aggressive with it, and letting it come to him, so to speak. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. He's not being real pushy. He's back there in 6th after starting 6th. He hasn't lost anything, hasn't gained anything. Now, Mitch Rollo, on the other hand, has dropped back to 5th. Now, I'm not real sure if this is his game plan or not, but he's probably just trying to take care of that car, Don, and make sure that he has, we got a caution on track.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where that incident is from, what the yellow's from. I don't really see it yet.
Yeah, I don't see anything either, to be completely honest with you.
Looks like it had to be in the back.
Yeah.
Hearing that it could be possibly Mr. Nick Cohan, but I'm not exactly sure. Nick Cohan's front end is pretty tore up.
The 51 of Nick Thames was involved, the 45. Let's see if we can pull up the replay real quick. It looks like it happened in front of them, though, is what I'm seeing, Don. I'm seeing a lot of smoke down there. Yeah, look at that. We got the 21 car already damaged. Yeah, that started with Cohan, all right, coming out of the trial over there. They were 4 wide.
Hey.
Yeah.
It kind of looked to me, I'm looking at it back on my replay, it almost looked like to me that Cohan was kind of reacting to the '09 that was coming back up on the track. Maybe he kind of thought that they might have got into, would get into each other, because the '09 comes up the track after, being on the apron, and it looked like Cohan maybe just reacted a little bit too much and came into the car up there. And yeah, just guys trying to fight for the same amount of real estate there, really.
Yep, and we're already on pit road. Lap 5, it's kind of early, but tires are a premium here, Don. So our leaders are going to make their way down in their pit stops. And one thing that we have seen time and time again here in the Sim500 group is mistakes on pit road and how costly they can be.
Yeah, definitely. We talk about it all the time, how he's sliding through the pits, maybe overshooting your pit stall, either speeding on pit road, speeding off of pit road. All these things can definitely ruin a racer's day when he's trying to gain spots on the track.
Absolutely. So here we are taking our first pit stop of the day under caution on lap 5. And we're going to let this kind of wave around here.
Did Anthony DeBarro take tires?
I don't think he even went in.
I don't think he went in either.
Let me back this up a little bit. We'll take.
Yeah, I do believe we had some guys stay out there. We're going to get this all sorted out for you guys here, but he definitely stayed out. I mean, he's only got 6 laps on those tires. Tires do mean a lot here, but, Anthony DeBarro is pretty good. We see him run up front all the time. I don't feel too bad about, the decision he made there. I think he's going to be okay.
Well, we're going to let it shake down here, Don. We're going to take a quick break, stay corner to corner so you folks don't miss anything, and we'll be right back.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over 100
And we're back here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Anthony DeBarro, Jose Gonzalez, Shane Ewing, and Chad Cole. Don, they elected to stay out. No tires, no gas. They're going to go ahead and just stay out there and see what they can get on what they got, which, probably not a bad call. I stand corrected. And here we go, green flag. Wow, we got some spinning tires back there. These 2 guys that spun their tires down there. They're the ones who did not pit, so that's going to give a huge lead to DeBarro on that 27 car. Call it about 8 car lengths going down into turn 1. In the meantime, behind him on the outside, you've got the 26 car of Jose Gonzalez fighting off the first car with 4 tires. That's Chad Coleman, that 82. Behind him is the 19 of Gabriel Perry. I think Perry stayed out as well. In the meantime, the 32 got a little squirrely back there, Don. Looked like he almost stacked it up. And the 40 of Trey Henson thought about pushing his nose in there, go 3 wide coming off of 4, but thought better of it.
Yeah, he definitely did. And we were talking before. Shane Ewing, he definitely he fell back. He might have spun his tires on that start, and he was just kind of struggling with the car the whole time since then, and fell back, was 3 wide for a little bit. And he's got Dave Comstock behind him right now. We've talked about Dave before. Really conservative, kind of chooses his battles on the racetrack, but I'm sure he's going to be able to get by the 32 here rather quickly.
Well, right now it looks like Chad Cole is about a half second behind DeBarro, our leader. And behind Chad Cole, we've got Gonzalez at 26, Gabe Perry in that 19, but he's got his hands full on the outside with the car number 26 of, I'm sorry, that is Jose Gonzalez. I got a little confused there, folks. My apologies. I'm old, so that's my excuse. And behind him, we've got Trey Edson in that 40 car. Behind him is the 81 of Gilliland, our pole sitter, who also pit and took 4 tires there. So it's a nice little bunch up front, a little mixture there. And we have a fight for the lead up front. Chad Cole has caught DeBarro with those 4 fresh tires on the outside, making a really good power move there, Don. Coming down through the tri, will try and take that lead away.
Yeah, the high side is a fast way to go around here. You can carry a lot of momentum, but at the same time, you can abuse your tires up there if you're not careful. DeBarro seems to have liked that middle to low line. He's not right on the white line. He comes up a little bit, but Chad Cole is able to carry that momentum around the high side with those fresh tires, be able to make that pass rather easy by DeBarro as he goes back to second.
And another thing to keep in mind, you touched on it earlier, DeBarro's a smart driver. He knows right now he's not quite as fast as these guys with 4 tires, so he's not going to put up too much of a fight with that 82 car. He's going to keep his car in one piece, keep it on the 4 tires there, and make sure that he's there at the end. So he's going to slide back to second right now. He's got a fight on right now. Behind him is Gabe Perry in that 19, looking to take that spot away. But other than that, it's kind of calm right now through our top 10, all the way back to about 12th is when we got our first fight for position. I'm sorry, that's 10th and 11th. It looks like Ewing on the outside is losing that spot to the 15 car of Nick Silver, that Heinz ketchup. I need some French fries, Don. You got any?
No, I don't got any tonight, but I definitely use some of that Heinz ketchup if I had some. I love that stuff. And you got the 32 right now. He's trying to play a little catch up right there on the number 15 of Nick Silver. He's got those old tires. He can't really get up there. Doesn't quite have the grip. I know it's only been 6-lap old tires, but he's still struggling with those things.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell you, something I found racing the B car this week at Las Vegas was about 10 laps into the run, it felt really good. It felt better as far as setup-wise and the way the car handled to put my left sides to the left of that top seam and my right, kind of straddle that top seam of the car, and it really turned a lot better in the corner. So I'm sure we'll probably see a lot of the same thing with some of these guys here pretty soon now.
Definitely. I've done the same thing. I mean, my preferred line is kind of be up top there, high a little bit, like right where you were talking about on that seam. It's a good way to judge where you're going to, put your car and where you can be consistent every time. Everybody talks about picking their marks on the racetrack, and those seams are a lot of the ways guys choose their marks and where they're going to put their car.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, the 81 car, another one, he's making his way back to the front, Adam Gilliland. He was our pole sitter, slid back a little bit. Also, when he pitted, he there were guys that stayed out and were ahead of him, and he's a little slow coming out of pit road there, but he's already back up to, it looks like 4th place there. So he's taking his spot back up to the front there. And I tell you what, so far so good. They've been on green now for about 9 laps there, Don, and everybody seems to be taking it easy, not getting too aggressive, trying to get their spots back that they might have lost. So we'll see how long this maintains.
Yeah, and definitely to take note, Anthony DeBarro, we were talking about before, he was on the he was in the leader on that last restart. Now we've seen him fall back quite often. He's kind of barely hanging on to 6th or 7th here now. And like we were talking about all night so far, those tires are so important to have such that grip, especially with the track heating up a little bit. And Anthony DeBarro has definitely been struggling, falling back a little bit. So I'm sure he's not going to make that mistake again. He's probably going to take tires any chance he gets from here on out.
Well, then again, but like I said earlier, he's also a lot like Comstock is, and tries to take care of his tires. So he's probably not trying to put up too much of a fight right now. But it remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. But maybe we'll pull him up here and talk to him for a minute on the next caution or something like that. But folks, don't forget that you can now see us on what we love to call the Triple Threat Viewing Experience. You can catch us on Facebook on our live TV broadcast there. You can catch us on Twitch, and you can also see us on YouTube. Just search the Sim Racing Network, and you'll find us, and you'll be able to like us. Give us a good like there. Set yourselves up for notifications, and like Don said earlier, he gets a notification every time we go live, which I'm not real sure why he need that when he's in the booth, but hey, it helps.
Just a reminder in case I'm late.
Yeah, 10-4. Oh, look. My broadcast is starting up. But I'll tell you what, man, this has been a great race so far here. We're coming across the line here, taking lap 19, folks. On this next lap, lap 20, we're going to go silent as they come across the start-finish line for lap 20. We're going to do that in memoriam of a dear friend of ours in the sim racing community. Dylan Brockwell passed away 3 years ago yesterday. He was a great kid. I knew him personally from racing with him at Noble Racing several years ago. Great guy to be around. So when we come across the line here for lap 20, up here in the booth, we're going to go silent for an entire lap, and we'll probably just go ahead and put you on some good little cams and let you watch the action. So, Dylan, wherever you are, brother, looking down on us right now, this lap's for you, pal. And again, that lap was for a dear friend of ours, Dylan Brockwell. Great guy, great competitor, good driver. And folks, tonight, you probably noticed this, but our friend Ben Kilcrease of Crossover Motorsports Incorporated and Kevin DeBrown of Crossover Motorsports 93 and the 00 are both running some tribute paint schemes, Dylan. And it's hard to see on TV, but I can promise you, Dylan Brockwell's name is over the doors on those race cars, and it's very fitting and great tribute to a great kid, a great guy who just unexpectedly passed away on us 3 years ago. Miss him every day still. In the meantime, we've got quite a fight back here in the 20th, 21st, and 22nd position. Basically, 5 cars fighting for one spot. The 09, the 00 of Ben, the 20 of Chad Cole back there, Mitch Rollo up on the high side behind that Skittles car. Sorry, Chad Coleman. I get those two confused all the time. And in front of them is the 32 car of Shane Ewing, who's fallen back a long way there from the restart there.
Yeah, it's just a gaggle back there. I was actually just watching the 96 of Mitch Rollo had to check up a little bit. He almost got into the back of the 09 because he was checking up for the guys that were battling in front of him. So, yeah, right now this is a crazy battle on track. These guys are just really duking it out for this 20-plus positions here or whatever. It looks like Mitch might stick a nose in there and go 3 wide for a little bit here.
Mitch is probably
close.
trying to make some room. I don't know if he got penalized under the pit stop there or what, but I didn't realize he was so far back in the field. We must have missed something there.
Yeah, maybe he sped on pit road and we didn't see it, or something could have happened there, but he definitely fell back and he's trying to battle his way back up here.
If anybody from iRacing is paying attention, us broadcasters could use some sort of an app that tells when people get penalties. It would be awesome. Anyway.
That would be really great.
It would be great. It really would. But we got some great racing down here, even though it's back here in 20th place. I mean, look at this. Ewing is doing all he can not to give up any more spots, and he's kind of holding these guys up. These guys all have 4 fresher tires than he does by about maybe 6 laps, granted, but still, that really counts. And they're all fighting really hard, but he's got that preferred lineup there, Don. Right now, in this time of the run, that middle to high line is really best.
Yeah, it's really hard to pass when you got a guy like running up there like that and you're side by side. You got to get the run. You got to carry the speed down low and kind of be able to carry that speed without pushing up into him. As you see them going 3 wide right now, the 96, the 09, and the 32. Look like the 32, he just kind of slowed up a little bit, thought better of making it stay that way. But it's really hard to pass. You have to carry the speed down low and almost kind of sweep up to the guy in front of you, kind of pull a slide job on him almost.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw a lot of last night, too. And I just think, right now you've got a bunch of guys that are maybe just a little impatient, trying to get back up front where they were, kind of mired back here in traffic with guys who aren't quite as fast as them. So it's going to take a little bit of patience, try not to run somebody over and cause another caution, because here we are almost 20 laps into this run. This is about the time the track starts getting slick. So if you're good at handling a really loose race car and keeping it going forward and fast, this is where it's your time to shine now.
Well, I mean, just to let you know what the track temperature is, when we were talking about it last time, I believe you said track temperature is about 105. Right now it's 127.
Woo! That's a slick, warm track right there, Don. As we all know, the hotter it gets, the greasier it gets. All that rubber that's been put down starts getting a little slick, a little like, I don't know, what snot's a good way to compare it there, Don?
Yeah, okay.
Well, maybe not the nicest of terms, but that's what, I mean, it's hard to drive on that. And I see a lot of smoke down there. I don't know if somebody just got loose or what, but we're still in the green. I was back here looking at Ben still running the 19th spot. But let's check in up front and see what's going on with Chad Cole. He's out to about a 7/10 second lead over Gabriel Perry, who's made his way up to second place now after starting 4th. Came out of the pits on that restart, I think, somewhere in the top 10, kind of back there towards the end of the top 10. We got Adam Gilliland running back here in 3rd. Not a whole lot of racing going on up front right now. This is pretty much single file, and everybody just trying to take it easy on their cars and make sure that they're there for the next pit stop. Now, Don, we know that they can go between 55 to 60 laps on field, but I don't know if those tires are going to last that long, man.
Well, we talked about this last week too. It's the balance between how slow you're going to be on old tires compared to the guys that would pit early and be on new tires. If you stay out for a long run compared to guys that might short pit. It's a delicate balance right there of trying to do that, and saving your tires in these runs is all about that. As we see, actually a change for a fight for 2nd and 3rd, Adam Gilliland looks like he's going to take that spot, carried that speed down low, and was able to get right by Gabriel Perry there for 2nd place. But Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think these guys are going to be able to go the whole fuel run. I think they're definitely going to pit before that, but I think it's just a matter of guys short pitting before other guys. I think you're going to see a lot of fuel strategies or pit strategies if we stay green for a long time.
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. We were talking to Ben Kilcrease in the pre-race show, excuse me, talked to a couple drivers, Nick Cohen. They don't feel that they're going to make full fuel runs on these tires. They're going to try, but it's just going to depend on who cries chicken first.
Yeah, I just think I just think the time drop off is going to be so huge between new and old tires that guys basically when you start to see the first few guys pit, I think you're going to see a trend after that. I think you're going to start to see guys pit after that unless they are stuck on a certain pit strategy or whatever, but I think that's what it's going to be. The guys that pit first are going to dictate how the other guys choose to do their pit stops.
Well, let's touch on that time drop. Okay, we're on lap 31 now. We came back to green on lap 8, so that's 23 laps on tires. That first fast lap after their pit stop there was a 30.4 by Chad Cole, our leader right now. His last time by this time was a 32.5. That's 2.1 second difference in just 23 laps, Don. So, like you said, the time drop off is going to be huge. So you have to weigh that with how much time you want to lose to the guys you're racing with versus how long you want to stay out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of how the race goes, really. And like I said, it goes a lot with how you take care of your tires on this run. Obviously, guys that are taking care of their tires more are going to be able to stay out for a little bit longer and not have as much of a drop off compared to the guys that are really burning it up. And basically, you can kind of see right now, you see a lot of guys migrating to the top, but depending on how you run that high line, it really depends on how you're going to weigh your tires. You see our leaders, the top three especially, they seem to be running down low a lot more, which is pretty much where they're going to take care of their tires more.
Beg to differ, I guess.
It just depends on how you race your car, really. I've seen guys take care of their tires up high and low, so I personally prefer the high line.
On that high line.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's a weird balance there.
It really is, and it's and I hope we're not confusing the people who aren't familiar with sim racing, but it's very realistic in the sense that iRacing improves these tire models every time they put a new one out, and this last build introduced a tire model and dynamic weather and dynamic track conditions all at once that really kind of go back to how a driver drives a race car, Don. By that I mean you can be really fast down low and take care of your tires, or you can be really fast down low and wear them out, or you can be one of those guys that's really fast in the middle of the high line of the track but wears his tires out unless he slows it down a little bit and still runs pretty competitive up high and takes care of it. There's just so many ways and I guess variables there that I've seen, I've been doing B-car racing all week long, brother, and I've seen some guys that stayed down low for an entire 53-lap fuel run, and we're still only about a second and a half off their starting lap. It was crazy.
Yeah, it just, like you said, it's all about driving styles. And, another thing that kind of, with iRacing doing all their updates, this dynamic weather definitely changed the way guys have to, look at their race. You can just have, like we have partly cloudy skies today. If we get a few laps where the track cools down a little bit, guys are going to be able to find some grip. Maybe guys will be a little bit faster. You have to evolve the way you're driving your car with this dynamic weather, with the way the track temperatures are, with the way the cloud cover is, all that different stuff. So there's so many different aspects that iRacing has thrown into it with the dynamic track, the dynamic weather. It's always updating, always improving.
Absolutely, and it's one of the most realistic sims you're going to find out there, folks. If you're interested in joining this kind of fun, it's simple. Go to iRacing.com, look at what kind of package you want to sign up for, get your cars, then find you a league to run in. I highly recommend these guys here at Sim500. You will not find them more competitive, but absolutely fun guys to be around, great competitors, some of the best drivers I've seen in sim racing. And you can find them at sim500.com. Check out what kind of series they've got going on over there. Some of them have closed registration already. They're already full, but got many, series cranking up over the next few weeks. Give it a shot and take a look at what you got there. Back to the racing, though. It looks like Chad Cole has stretched his lead out here over the last few laps. He's out to 1.2 over Adam Gilliland there in second. Back to Gabriel Perry. It's going to be a 1.7 seconds, and looks to me like Comstock's moving up here, Don. He's now riding in fourth, and I believe he's got his sights set on that 19 car for third.
The methodical man himself, Mr. Comstock. We talk about him all the time.
Man.
He's always slowly working his way up there. He knows how to take care of his tires. He knows how to take care of his car. He seems to always be the guy that just really can take care of his equipment, which usually can get you up front if you can stay out of the trouble. And so far, he's doing a really good job. He started 6th, worked his way up now to 4th. He's right on the back bumper of that number 3 car, or that 3rd place car. And yeah, he's definitely having a great race so far tonight.
We're right along with Comstock. Let's just be quiet for a minute. You and me, Don, up in the booth. We're going to be quiet. Y'all listen to the throttle control Comstock does here. That's amazing. I mean, listen to him. He just he drives so much with his throttle, and I think that's what makes him really so good at saving his tires there, Don.
Well, nice and smooth. You got to be smooth. You don't want to make too many jerky movements with the car. You don't want to move that wheel too much. You want all your movements to be as smooth as they possibly can be with as little movement as possible. The car doesn't like it when you jerk around too much and the tires get scrubbed and everything. Car likes everything to be nice and smooth. It doesn't want too much drama going on.
Absolutely, and I said it last night. He's one of the best at it, and we're going to slide him up to 3rd now. And look at that. He's already put some distance between himself and 19, sets his sights on that 81 now for 2nd place. And I tell you, if this continues to go green like it is, it will not be much longer before we see him up there fighting with Chad Cole for that lead.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. We've talked about it before. The guys that take care of their tires, the guys that take care of their equipment are the guys that are going to run up front, especially in these long green flag runs, and Comstock's definitely that guy. He's known for doing that. We talk about it all the time. And, yeah, I actually kind of look forward to seeing Comstock get up there and maybe battle with Chad.
I don't know if you watched last night's broadcast, Don, but it was amazing to me to watch Comstock doing everything he could to stretch his fuel out for 60-something laps, clutching in the turns. He would go into turn 1 and clutch it and turn it off all the way around about the 75% mark and then kick it back in. Unfortunately, he just did not have enough to finish the deal. Wound up, finishing 2nd or 3rd, but still a great run for him. But like you said, he's just the master at this taking care of your equipment stuff.
Yeah, you know you're desperate to save fuel when you start shutting the car off in the corners. That's definitely a way to do it. But, yeah, I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch the broadcast last night, but, you know, it doesn't surprise me that he was right there and that he was trying to pull out all the tricks to try to get him to the end to try to get the win.
I mean, think about that. 60 laps on those same tires, man.
That's a long time. That's a long time.
I mean, I was in utter awe. Now, I've raced with some of the best, man. I've raced with Trent Ringler. A lot of guys that are really good at sim racing, and that just last night was an amazing thing to watch. But that was last night. Tonight, and we look like we're going to get another show from Comstock in that 42. He's definitely closing up on the 81. 81 is wiggly loose coming off the turns right here. Let's watch him for a lap, Don, and tell me what you see when the 81 comes into these turns and comes out of them.
Well, he's definitely running a completely different line than Comstock. Comstock seems to prefer that middle, kind of a lower to middle line there. But, oh, you see right there, right there, the 81 just fighting his car, fighting to keep it on the track. And Comstock is just able to really catch up to him right there. But he's definitely fighting a very loose car right now. Right there, you can see it again. Every time he comes off the corner, what that is, that's a difference between the throttle control that we were watching earlier in that in-car with Dave Comstock. The throttle control, he sees Dave back there. I think Adam is doing a lot of mirror driving. I think he needs to concentrate a little bit more on not stomping on that gas too much, because all that movement you see every time he comes off the corner, the back end of that car wiggles around. The tires hate that. Tires are searching for grip. That means they're sliding. That means they're getting even more war. It's just a vicious cycle. And the more he moves that car around like that, the worse those tires are going to be. We see Comstock behind him. He's been a lot smoother. Doesn't seem to be struggling with that car. And it's almost as if like he kind of backed up a little bit to maybe let Adam almost wear his stuff out and kind of let the position come to him, so to say.
Absolutely, and that 3-car folk that you saw just now passing by these two, he just came out of the pits with fresh 4. Even though he's got no nose left on that car, he's still going to be a little bit faster with those new tires. But you're right. And the problem that Adam's going to face here, or sorry, not Adam, but Comstock's going to face getting around that 81 car, is he's got to pray that as he's trying to make that pass here shortly, that the 81 doesn't lose control of that loose race car. That was something that bit me in the butt a couple of times this week.
Yeah, definitely. You're especially, it's natural. Anytime somebody's racing around you, you don't want to give up that spot sometimes, and you want to fight for it. And sometimes that's when the mistakes can be made. So I don't think Comstock's too much of a hurry to get by Adam. I think he knows that Adam has kind of used some of his stuff up there, and as you
Here
can
we
see
go.
right there, yeah, Adam's gonna go in the pits, and
He almost didn't cut that far enough. Wow.
he almost didn't make that. It's a very tricky pit road to get on, but we see right now already Adam is coming down pit road. You're going to get some new tires, and yeah, I think it was just a matter of time before we're going to see that happen.
And that's happening on lap 48, our first leader up front making his pit stop. And we already had some slower cars in the back make theirs. Don, we'll let this go ahead and circulate around. But yes, our former pole sitter, Adam Gilliland, is on the pit road right now getting his tires. Meantime, back up front, Chad Cole is moved out to a 1.8 second lead over Comstock. Now, I don't think that's because Comstock's that much slower. I just think, like you said, he was taking it easy with the 81 car, not wanting to get into any kind of incident with him, and kind of lost some time to him. In the meantime, it looks to me like maybe Comstock's also on pit road. There he goes down pit road. So here we go, Don. This is the moment of the race we've been waiting for. Green flag pit stops. Let's see who gets in and out without making any mistake.
Yeah, I think the precedent has been set. We're going to start seeing some of these leaders come down pit road. Like you're saying earlier, once you start seeing guys come down pit road and taking those fresh tires, they're going to get on the track, and those guys that are still out there on old tires, they're going to be seeing the margin just go away super fast. So they got to get on pit road. It's kind of forces their hand, really.
Well, when you see a guy like David Comstock jump in the pits at 40 laps on tires, when last night he made him last 60 laps in a separate car, different car, that we can pretty much count and bank on seeing other guys duck into the pits. In the meantime, in front of our leader, we got a really slow car that I don't know if the 83 of Jason Barham got up in the wall or not there, but he's really significantly off the pace there in front of our leader. I'm sorry, not a leader. That's Adam Gilliland. I apologize, folks. I hope I didn't confuse anybody there. But yeah, our leader is on pit road, got his pit stop done, and he's back out now, which hands the lead over to Daniel Falkingham, who is also now on pit road. So what we're going to do, folks, we're going to go quiet up here in the booth, maybe do a turn it up for a little bit here, and let you enjoy some turn it up looks. And I'm sorry, we call it, turn it up. That's right. And once these green flag pit stops have cycled through, we'll get you caught up on who's where. And we're back, folks, and I don't know what happened to E.J. O'Rourke, our former leader of the race, but he went through the pits and then came back out without stopping. My guess is, Don, he probably missed his pit box.
Yeah, he had to admit missed his pit box. We were watching him while we were away, and yeah, he definitely got really hot coming down pit road. We weren't sure if he was going to make it okay, and then, he went right on through. He probably just missed it. We see him. He's about to come down pit road again, though.
Well, look at it, man. He's sideways again.
Yep.
Well, he started 36, so he's way back here in the back. So it's probably just a matter of him. He drove by it. Yeah, look, here he goes. He found it this time. That's a bad thing. That's going to put him a couple of laps down.
Definitely.
In the meantime, up front, Doy Woods is our leader in that 01 car. He's getting passed up now by Dwayne Vincent at 13. Dwayne's going to unlap himself. Dwayne's already pitted. Doy has not. So I'm guessing, like you said, maybe this is our gambler. This is the guy who said, hey, I'm going to stay out as long as I can. Back there behind him, 6 seconds is Scott Stenzel in the 24, fresh off of a truck run. this week in Vegas, which didn't go too well for him, from what I understand. Behind him in third is Wetzel, and then we got Lionel Callisto, Sean Casto. Those 5 drivers have yet to pit. In the meantime, Adam Gilliland, the first of our drivers who hit pit road, is 10.3 seconds behind our leader, but he's coming fast.
Yeah, that's one thing, we were talking about before about pit strategies and stuff. Some of these guys, they can take that gamble if they were kind of in the back or whatever, and they can stay out, maybe run some extra laps. They might not be as fast because they're going to be on old tires, but if a caution swings their way, then they can get great track position. They can pit with everybody, and it'll work out for them. So it's a gamble, but we see Doy Woods. Looks like he's coming down pit road right now.
I was just about to say his last time by was a 33.4. Adam Gilliland's was a 31.4, so I think it's probably a good call for him to come on down. But Scott Stenzel stayed out, as did Callisto and Wetzel. So, this could mix things up a little bit. We're going to see how these guys handle it. Gilliland has passed up everybody else except Callisto, and he just passed him up. So put Gilliland back to the lead.
Yeah, they're making their way back up there. He's cycled around, and we've seen him, pretty much dominate so far. I mean, we were showing him earlier in the run when he was on those old tires. He was kind of struggling, maybe didn't save his tires quite as much as he wanted to. We might see a little bit of a different run from him this time. Maybe he'll be a little bit easier on those tires to stretch him out a little bit longer there toward the end.
That's a possibility, but then again, who knows? I will tell you this though, Comstock's coming in a hurry. He's about a second, almost 2 seconds back, but definitely making up time on Adam Gilliland. He's passing up Lionel Callisto now in 3 and 4. He will take second place away from Callisto, who has not pitted yet, and that's going to move him up to second, where he sets his sights on our leader, Adam Gilliland.
And we've been talking about Comstock all night. We've been talking about how methodical he's been, taking care of his equipment, seems to be, taking care of those tires, and just being all around right in the right place at the right time, just by taking care of his equipment. We've had long green flag runs tonight. He's bearing down right now on Adam Gilliland. It's only a matter of time, it looks like, before he catches him if everything goes his way.
Absolutely. And one thing I have discovered, not really discovered, but learned about Comstock in that 42, Dave Comstock, and we showcased this tonight in the in-car and then last night also. All of his saving the equipment, as we call it, comes from his throttle control and his wheel control and how smooth he is on and off these corners. And, I mean, he's already made up another 10th right there on the leader, and he's not really doing anything different than what he's been doing all night.
Yeah, it's just his racecraft just being as smooth as he can possibly be. It's just spot on. That's the way the guys that are running the smoothest are the guys that are going to be the fastest. We've talked about it.
Oh, we have a caution.
Caution on the track. Trying to look through right now and see where that yellow came from.
The 23 car, it looks like. Josh Parker. Got a little help from Anthony DeBarro. Oh, my. I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, he got a little help from DeBarro. DeBarro got up into the wall. Oh, he also collected Mitch Rollo. That is so unfortunate right there. Mitch Rollo was working his way back up to the front, had already gotten up to 13th. And it looks to me like he got a pretty significant amount of damage from that.
Yeah, it looked like DeBarro just got into the back of him, going into the corner, back into the 23, and then Mitch just really didn't have anywhere to go. Hopefully his damage is not too bad. We'll have to see.
Yeah, in the meantime, our leaders are back on pit road again, folks. I was just about to give you a rundown of our top 10 after that green flag pit stop, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to corner and let these caution pit stops shake out and see who does what here. Will we have any 2-tire takers, any 4-tire takers? We don't know, but as soon as we come back from commercial, we'll let you know.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke.
And we're back to Las Vegas from the commercial break, folks. And as you see, pit stops have been completed. They're stacked up 2 by 2. We're going to go over our top 10 real quick. Adam Gilliland still has that pole first place. Dave Comstock second, Chad Cole third, Justin Fuller fourth, Trey Edson fifth, Gabriel Perry sixth, Nick Silver up from 18th to 7th, Anthony DeBarro 8th place, Sean Castro 9th place, Tommy Ryan 10th place, and Don, here we go, man. We're going to rack them and stack them and do this again.
Yeah, new tires, full fuel. Here we go. These guys are all going to be on an even playing ground now.
Now, I was just talking to Don under the break. We've lost several cars. We had a 43-car field, and right now we have 31 cars still on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke, our former leader, who hadn't pitted yet. I think he went a lap down but got it back. He was a lucky dog. So here we go. The pace cars coming through 3 and 4 right now. And I'll tell you what, Don, I'm looking forward to this because this is going to be the backstretch, the last half of the race. We're almost halfway right now. We'll be there in about 2 laps. And from here on out, if it goes green, I predict that we'll see that 42 up front.
I think you're absolutely correct about that. He's been strong all night.
Well, here we go. Pace car is off, folks. They're approaching that start box right now. The green flag is going in the air now. There it goes. They're off, and the 81. Oh, we got somebody spinning the tires back there. Mitch Rollo and the 96 got into them. They're 4 wide coming through the tri-oval.
Yeah, definitely somebody spinning tires back there. It's stacked up the field back there. Look like they got it all sorted out. Yeah, there's guys are still kind of gathering up, but I think we're going to be okay.
It looked like the 52 of Sean Castro spun his tires on that start. The 96 got into the back of him, so just add more woes to Mitch Rollo in that 96. He's just not having a good night right now. I don't know what he needs to do to fix his luck, but between that incident last week with the lap car while he was leading to this week, he's just not having a good time. In the meantime, back up front, Gilliland has stepped out of lead just a little bit, about 2 or 3 car lengths over Comstock in the 42. Chad Cole back there in third. We're single file. Looks like we're going to be single file all the way back to about 10th and 11th, where we got Ben Gilcrease in 11th spot, trying to take that 10th spot away from Mike Kelly in a 2-car. And I tell you what, Don, to see Mike out here is a good thing because just last week, we all know Mike Kelly was in the hospital. He's been having some back issues. I'm not sure exactly what the diagnosis is, but he was in a lot of pain, so much that he went to the hospital and was there for a couple of days. But here he is back in the car again tonight and doing an outstanding job, running 10th place right now.
Yeah, starting 30th and 10th. Yeah, he's doing having a great run tonight.
He did the same thing last night. Started way back in the field and had himself a good top 5 run at the end of the night, and it was just outstanding to watch. In the meantime, it looks like Ben Gilcrease has kind of bounced back from his poor start. He started 30-30s up to 11th, so that's good for him in crossover. They're having some rough struggles this week. I believe right now the crossover guy is the only one above the top 15 is going to be Ben Gilcrease. It looks like everybody. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Chad Cole's part of that group, too, and he's running second. My bad.
Yeah, Chad Cole, we can't forget about him. Chad Cole right up there running second. He's about a half a second behind Adam Gillen, our leader.
Chad the Big Cat Cole. That's what we call him.
Well, right now he's got Mr. Comstock behind him, so he might be having a little worried about that.
Well, actually, he just passed Comstock.
Oh, yeah, you did. You're right. Comstock
yeah.
was in second. My bad.
Comstock's back in conserve mode, it looks like to me, because he's not going to put up a bid. We know he's fast, so we know he can get up there and challenge, because he was chasing down the 81 before he went to that caution. So we know that Comstock's got a fast car, but we also know that he's just a person who likes to take care of his equipment right there. I tell you what, he can't get much closer to that outside wall and say he's taking care of his equipment. He just got so close to the outside wall coming out of 2 that you couldn't have put a piece of paper between him and the wall.
He was super close to the outside wall, definitely flirting with it. You got to be really careful there.
Right now, our track temps come down a little bit from 127 to 124, but it's still a really hot, really slick track. So these guys have some fresh tires on right now. They've only been on the pit. They've only been on track about 6 laps now. Still turning some pretty fast laps. I think last time by our leader, he was turning a 30.9, which is still a pretty dang decent lap for this A car at Las Vegas.
Oh, definitely is. And I mean, like we were talking about the tire drop off. I think you're going to see the guys again that are taking care of their tires early on in the run that are going to survive the long run.
Absolutely, and it looks to me like we've got a pretty calm racetrack, I guess you could say right now. If you want to call a bunch of guys doing 190 miles an hour in 3,500 power race cars calm, but it is. I mean, there's not a whole lot of slicing and dicing going on anywhere back here in the field. We see some 2-car runs going on, but nobody's being impatient and getting rough or anything like that, which is what we want to see. We want to see this thing go green as long as we can, because about 15 laps from now, these cars are going to start slipping and sliding, and that's when the cream rises to the top, as I like to say.
I see the battle going on right now between the 99 and the 19. And these guys are kind of slicing it up a little bit. It looks like the 19's been trying to jump underneath Tommy there a few times. A little bit of slicing and dicing, not too much. I think these guys, they're looking to make passes, but I think they're being a little bit more conservative about it.
Tommy Ryan is one of the hardest guys on track to pass, man. I speak from experience. I've been on track with him a couple of times in a different series, and he's got this knack for making his vehicle about 3 times wider than it rolled off the factory floor.
I've raced with Tommy for a couple years now. I've raced with him in a couple different leagues. He's Sim500 here, a couple other leagues that don't exist anymore. But yeah, Tommy's definitely a good competitor to race with, and you're right about that. He is definitely one of the harder guys to pass on the track, and it's not necessarily that he's holding anybody up. It's just he definitely likes to make that car as wide as possible. Right now, though, he's got a lot going on behind him. These guys are definitely trying to get up underneath him. Anthony DeBarro's right there. These guys are really battling it out back here for this like 6th, 7th, and 8th spot.
Anthony DeBarro's off pace. I don't know what's going on with Anthony DeBarro, but he's lost a lot of speed in the last lap or so.
Yeah.
Dropped back from his 5th place spot. He's all the way back to 7th now, losing that spot to Tommy Ryan here shortly. Ryan on the outside has the preferred line, and he's going to make a pretty quick work of that spot. And it looks like the 19 is going to try and follow him through there and take that spot as well. I don't know what happened to DeBarro, if he's just loose all of a sudden or what, but look at that. He's fighting back on the inside now. So, never mind what I said 2 seconds ago.
He's trying. He's definitely trying. I think Mike Kelly's trying to get up underneath him, too. Almost trying to make it 3 wide right there. It's closing up really quick. They're definitely going to go 3 wide. You see Mike Kelly on the inside, sticking his nose right in there. They're going through the corner. They're still 3 wide. This is a great battle right here. Kelly sneaks up just a little bit. Looks like he might hit him. They're going through the tri-oval. Still 3 wide. Now they finally get it sorted out. Back to 2 wide. Great battle there. DeBarro does look to be sliding a little bit.
So
Kelly.
Loose.
Yeah, Kelly went to come back up on the track from the apron, and he definitely got a little loose there. But he's having a great run tonight, starting from 30th. We talked about him earlier. He's definitely powering his way back up there, determined to stay in the top 10.
And I was just seeing that behind them, Ben Kilcrease is blinking in and out. I hope Ben's internet's not going to give up on him tonight. He needs some good luck, and he's
definitely blinking
like that. Yeah, he's blinking pretty bad. But you're right, Mike Kelly's looking great down there on that inside line. He didn't even get out of the throttle, I don't think, when he got loose that last time by. So he's still giving DeBarro a fight for his money down there. And that fight, folks, is for 9th place. So, I mean, you're looking at 2 guys that are trying to fight for their way into the top 10 and stay in the top 10. And it looks to me like Kelly's going to finally be able to edge him out there on the inside. And it looks to me like Kilcrease now wants to get in some of this. He's going to put his nose down there and try and get in some of this action.
Yeah, and the thing these guys got to remember, you don't want to fight too hard because you might wear out your tires, and then that position that you were fighting for 8th or 9th later on might end up being a 15th or a 16th because your tires are wore out.
Exactly. I was just going to say the same thing. You get out of my head, will you, pal? But yeah, I mean, Ben said this last night, and it came so true with several cars. The harder you drive this tire earlier in the run, the less longer it's going to give up. I mean, it's going to last on. It's going to give up a lot sooner on you. And we're seeing that now with a few guys, to be honest with you, that are starting to slide back. Remember, these guys were last on pit road. It looks like lap 65. So here we are coming up to lap 80 right now. So almost 16 laps on these tires, Don. And this is when it starts to show right here when these guys start getting loose and that track's slick. I mean, it's still, 125 degrees right now on track. So you keep abusing these tires, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, it's cooled down a couple of degrees compared to what our max track temperature was. But right now, I mean, it's still hot enough for these guys, like you were saying, to slide all over the place. And, it's separating the guys that are fast and the guys that are losing spots later on are the guys that take care of their tires. I mean, you see a lot of slicing and dicing going on right now. As you see the 99 car, I don't know what happened to him. It looked like he lost.
He got real loose coming off the forges.
Yeah. Yeah, he did look. I just noticed. I saw the tail end of that where he was kind of gathering the car up as we see Mike Kelly going to the high side to go past him right there. And he's still trying to, seems like he's still trying to gather that car up.
I'll tell you what that did was it bunched those guys up, and look at Kilcrease now down on the inside trying to take that spot away from DeBarro, while DeBarro's going to the outside of Tommy Ryan trying to take that spot. Oh, man, we got some great action back here in the top 10.
Definitely. These guys are not wanting to give up. They want to stay in this top 10. And DeBarro, it looks like he's kind of fighting with his car tonight. Doesn't seem to be quite as smooth as we know him. It seems like he might be battling just a little bit. I don't know if he's just used his tires up a little bit too much, but Tommy seems to be in the same predicament right now as we see Ben Kilcrease back there. He's just trying to figure out how I can get by both these guys right now.
And like you said earlier, the more they slip and slide on these tires, the angrier those tires are going to get, the quicker they get out on them. And all I've seen out of the 99 so far is a bunch of slipping and sliding coming off these turns, and that's just plain abusing these poor tires.
Yeah, we saw it earlier, I believe, when we were looking at the 81 when he was leading the race. We were talking about how he was coming off the corners, kind of just all over the place. The rear end of that car would just be everywhere looking for grip. And right now, I think that's the predicament that Tommy Ryan's in right now. I think he might have used his tires up a little bit too much early on that run, and right now he's really struggling with that car, especially to keep it down low.
Exactly, and the longer he stays on that low line, the
Ooh,
worse
he's
it's going to get for him.
sideways there.
Oh, man. But that's a damn strong indicator of how good of a driver Tommy Ryan is in that 99. The fact that he didn't loop that car just now, most other drivers would have just gone on around and slid down to the grass, probably hit another car. But not Tommy Ryan. He kept control of it, and he's going to move up to the high side now. It looks like he's tired of that low line there, Don.
Yeah, he's definitely working tonight. He's definitely earning his paycheck tonight. Tommy's a great driver, got great car control, and right now he's just battling an angry race car. That's all it is.
Absolutely. And I'm back up front. Gilliland stepped out, so it looks like a 1 second lead over, 0.936 now over Chad Cole. Comstock still sitting back there in third, 2 seconds back. Then got Justin Fuller in fourth, and Trey Hudson rounds out our top five. And, like I said, folks, earlier, this is going to be the way it's going to run. A little calm, a little collected, everybody just kind of chilling out up front. But I guarantee you, when we get down to the end of this race, it's going to be a whole different story.
Yeah, definitely. You see a lot of guys that kind of started deep in the field. I'm looking right now, Ben Kilcrease right now started 33rd. He's in 10th. We talked about Mike Kelly earlier. He started 30th. He's currently 7th. I mean, these guys really have a battle to work their way up. We had some yellows early on, took out a few cars. We've seen, quite a few guys kind of back out, kind of get nailed by those wrecks. And right now, I mean, it's just a great race. But I think we're going to see a long green flag run. We don't, we've had a few yellows, but we've had really long green flag runs. And I think that's really what's separating a lot of these guys, from putting themselves in a position to be able to win this race. Adam, we've seen him, we focused on him earlier when he was leading the race. Now he's really struggling coming off the corners. Looks like he's a little bit smoother than he was before. He's still battling the car a little bit, but he's definitely smoothed his run out a little bit. Might have learned his lesson from that bad tire run he had earlier.
Absolutely. I mean, it only takes getting burned once, right? That's how you learn. And I'll tell you what, that's something I learned quick in the B car was watching these guys in front of me just start wiggling everywhere, and they drove it harder for some reason than it seemed like. As soon as I got up near them to pass them, they would get in the throttle a little bit harder, a little bit sooner, and it just got worse and worse for them. Meantime, back here, I want to touch on something. Ben Kilcrease, like you said, started 33rd on this race, and he's up to 10th. Just ahead of him, Mike Kelly in 7th place. He started 30th on the field, and he's up to 7th. And that's outstanding. These guys are just the epitome of what Sim 500 is all about. Just be patient, make your moves when you're supposed to. Be careful doing it, and you'll go places in this league. And that's a good-looking top 10 we got there, Don.
Yeah, definitely. Some guys that maybe early on in the race we wouldn't have thought would be up there, but they're up there now. And I'm actually watching Mike Kelly right now. I'm watching his steering wheel, and I'm watching when he's coming off the corner. He's actually steering it to the right just a little bit. That just tells you the kind of car control these guys have. I'm watching him. He's going through the corner. He's keeping that car right on the white line, but then when he gets off the corner, he actually has to turn the steering wheel to the right just a little bit to keep that car going straight. I mean, he is really working that wheel, but if you look at him on the track, the car is extremely smooth. But if you look inside that cockpit, that man is working every second going around this track.
Absolutely, and it looks like he's got some left front damage there. I'm not sure where that came from, probably a little bit of contact with somebody on track, but it does not seem to be slowing him down as he's running 7th right now. But he does have that 19 car of Gabriel Perry up there on the high side in 8th. Looking to maybe make a move on him there, Don, see if he can get by him.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying to carry that momentum. You see when he gets off the corner, Gabriel carries that momentum, and he's kind of, carries that speed on there. I think right now Gabriel's probably searching for a good line to be able to, plan that pass getting by Kelly. I'm pretty sure, he's not going to be able to make it on the low side because Kelly seems to pretty much have that low end locked, but he can get it by him on the high side. Passes, are possible to be made on the high side. He just has to time it right. You can see he's really carrying that momentum through the high side, especially through the middle of the corner. Gabriel really kind of inches up on him there.
Yeah, and I'm watching Kelly, like you said, he's just a little loose coming off the turn, but damn, he's got such good wheel control. It doesn't seem to be slowing him down at all. Matter of fact, they've actually been, cutting into the, I wouldn't say the lead, but that guy up there in 15 of Nick Silver, that Heinz Ketchup Ford Fusion, they've been kind of tracking him down here, inch by inch, every lap, getting closer and closer to him.
Yeah, they're definitely catching up to him, and no pun intended. And really, it wasn't not intended. But anyway, they are getting to him there, and I mean, we've been talking about balances all night, balances between tire wear and speed and everything, and the same thing with Mike Kelly right now. He's in a fine ballet, a little dance right there, where he's slipping and sliding a little bit, but he's not scrubbing off speed. He's still being smooth about it. And as opposed to we've seen other guys tonight been slipping and sliding, and when they're slipping and sliding, they're actually losing speed, and the guys behind them are catching up. Against Mike Kelly here, who he's slipping and sliding, he's actually catching the guys in front of him.
Well, there are some guys that are really good with a loose race car, know how to drive a loose race car, make it work for them, and there's just some guys who aren't. And I tend to think that I actually fall in that latter category, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what car, what track. I don't want to put my talent, my lack of talent against any of these guys out here, because
I know,
these guys are way better than I am when it comes to anything, And I kind of wanted to say this earlier. One guy that we're not seeing out here, Steve Gottschalk, he's not feeling too good tonight. Had to take the night off. I talked to him just before the race. Just feeling a little bit under the weather, and we want to give our thoughts to him. Hope you feel better. Hope you get out here real soon there, Nerf.
I miss his paint job, man. He gave us some love on his paint job,
yeah.
And it's a unique paint job. And I mean, Steve's a great guy to talk to. One of the better drivers here at Sim500, really. And it's just unfortunate he's feeling not too good tonight. Hey, Steve, I'm thinking about you, buddy. I'll even make an extra rum and coke for you, but I'll drink it. How's that sound?
Copy that. I'm sure he's going to love that.
Absolutely. In the meantime, back up front, the distance hasn't changed a whole lot between our top three. Gilliland's still out front with about a second over Chad Cole, and Comstock's about another second and a half back from there. Again, though, don't count David Comstock out, folks. He's just a shark. He's just, he's got that scent of blood in the water, and he's just waiting to start making his move here the longer this run goes. Speaking of the run, Don, these guys have now been on track since lap 65, so almost 40 laps on these tires. A little over 40 laps, excuse me, which is the longest run we've gone so far tonight, and I'm really surprised that we haven't seen guys having more problems than normal with controlling loose race cars.
I think a lot of these guys maybe learned their lesson a little bit. The field's a little bit smaller there, and not as many cars on the track. And I think I think right around the lap 100 mark, we're gonna start seeing some pit stops here, because these guys, the tire wear, like, again, we're going to see the fall off. And as soon as you see one guy pit, I think it's going to set that precedence where the other guys are going to have to pit. So I really do think we're going to start seeing pit stops here probably in the next 10 laps or so.
Well, don't forget, we had that green flag pit stop on lap 50, I think it was. So they went green from lap 7 to lap 50, which was 43 laps. So not quite the longest run we've had yet, but really darn close. So you're right. We're right at that window now where we started seeing a lot of guys duck on the pit road. But also, something you just pointed out, a lot of these guys learned their lesson from that first run, not to abuse these tires quite so much. So maybe they'll try to stretch it just a little bit further this time. We know they can go at least 55 laps on fuel, so we'll see if maybe somebody can make it run on fuel run this time.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what maybe some of these leaders would do. We saw when, we were talking about earlier, Dave Comstock, the guy that takes care of his tires pretty much better than anybody out here. And we saw, I think he pitted after about just over 40 laps, I believe, on that green flag stop. So, I'm just curious to see how these guys are going to kind of pan out here. And another guy that we really haven't talked about too much, I don't think, is Mr. Justin Fuller there in the number 5 car. He's up there in 4th.
Yeah, he's just quietly lurking back there, biding his time, waiting for something to chat, change up in front of him, maybe just wait for the car to come back to him a little bit. And that was something I wanted to touch on. That's something I noticed in the B car anyway, was that the longer you went in the run, like in the middle of the run, the car was wicked loose. If you weren't careful, you could overdrive it. But towards the end of the run, if you were able to hang on to it long enough, the car really kind of came back to you. And here we go. Yeah. Speaking of pit stops, Fuller's on. Boy, he came in hot that time. He brings 3 or 4 cars in with him.
Yeah, you see who was at Justin Fuller. It looks like the number 2 of Mike Kelly. Anthony DeBarro is in, and I believe that's Gabriel Perry back there. A lot of guys came in. Yeah. Even further back, more guys coming in.
We got a lot of guys on pit road. So, folks, we're gonna let this shuffle through before we make any indication of who sits where now. But this is a green flag pit stop, Don, something we love to see on track. Green flag pit stops really start separating the wheat from the chaff.
Here comes our leader, Chad Cole, on the pit road.
And Comstock's going to follow him. Here we go, man. These are some great pit stops, too. And we've touched on this several times over our broadcast. No mistakes, guys. They got to be smooth in here. No speeding penalties. Don't slide through your box, stuff like that.
Yeah, I had a feeling about lap 100 is where these guys were going to pit. I kind of figured they'd want to have about just over a 30-lap run on this last run if we stay green. But
my goodness,
did I miss something?
Well, Comstock, I'm guessing they fixed that thing where you don't really get damage on pit road anymore, because I don't know how he didn't hit that car pulling out of the number 2, Mike Kelly.
Oh yeah, that was very close. Yeah, it's kind of a fine line. Sometimes they go through, and I'm not really sure at the point where they actually could hit each other.
Well, look at this, folks. Somebody we have not said a whole lot about tonight, but Kevin DeBrown of Crossover Motorsports up there in that 93. He's got the lead right now. Of course, he has not pitted, but he's got a lead of 1.2 seconds over Doy Woods in the 07. But again, he has not pitted, so we're going to let this shuffle around a little bit. But look at that car. I want to take a good look at that, folks. That number on the hood there, that 20 number, that's the number that Dylan Brockwell drove in his days of sim racing. Again, Dylan is a friend of ours that many of us raced with, many of us knew through sim racing. Great guy, good kid. Passed away a few years ago, very unexpectedly. It was very unexpected. But his number was 20, and he ran that 20 proudly, let me tell you. So that's the idea behind that number on the hood. But yeah, Dylan's our leader. I'm sorry, Kevin DeBrown is our leader. But technically, yeah, Dylan Brockwell is too, because over the door numbers of each car that runs that paint scheme is Dylan's name, Dylan Brockwell, over the doors there. So that's good to see out there. But Doy Woods is actually catching up, Don.
Yeah,
Kevin DeBrown.
I think Kevin's probably going to be coming in the pits here soon. He just kind of hair flipped his way right to the lead there. And also, on the side of that car, we also see something there. Alabama Strong. We want to remember everybody that lost their lives in those horrible tornadoes that came through Alabama there. Just really terrible. We want to give our thoughts to all those people out there that are dealing with that right there. And you see on the side of that car, we got hashtag Alabama Strong, so we can remember everything that those people are dealing with out there.
Absolutely. Good call on that. I can't really see that too well. I'm looking at a 23-inch monitor. So, but yes, good call on that. And folks, remember, if you want to help storm victims, flood victims, crash victims, anything like that, your best bet is first off to contact your local Red Cross, give them a call and talk to them about what you want to help out with. In the meantime, back on track, Doy Woods is out to a 16.2 second lead over former leader Adam Gilliland, but that, folks, is because he has not pitted yet. Now let's take a look at his lap time. Lap time by last time was a 33.2, Don. Now Adam Gilliland's last time back was a 30.8.
We've talked about that drop off, and that's the balance
It's
right there. I mean,
insane. It's so
Doy is
insane.
hoping for that yellow, but we've had long green flag runs. I just don't see it. It's a gamble, but sometimes you got to take that gamble. But yeah, the drop off is just huge, and that's why you see guys pitting after about 40 laps.
Now, another thing you see in these races, folks, is just like in the real world, is your entrance and exit of pit road also dictate how well you come out on track. And what I mean by that is if we look at the score right now, Gilliland came in and Chad Cole was, I don't know, a second behind him on the pit stop. However, coming back out, Trey Edson and Daniel Falkingham have worked their way around Chad Cole in the pit stops. And now Chad Cole is almost 5 seconds behind Gilliland. Now, all that really is, he didn't make a mistake, he didn't get penalized. It's just the way you attack your entrance and exit of pit road and how fast you get into your pit stop.
Every second, every tenth of a second, every hundredth of a second counts getting on pit road. Just that,
Absolutely.
Trying to get on there pit road as fast as you possibly can without getting a speeding penalty, getting onto pit road, locking them down, approaching your pit box. All those things matter. I mean, you guys practice on the track, but a lot of times, sometimes it's good just to practice your pit road entries, especially if you're not used to it. A track like this, pit road entrance, especially under green, it can really be treacherous. I mean, you're carrying a lot of speed coming through these corners, and you're trying to get it woed down to 50 miles an hour on pit road. I mean, these guys are, through the corners, they're going 150 plus, and you have to get the car woed down almost 100 miles an hour in that small little pit road entrance. I mean, and on worn tires and the heat, and it's just, there's so much that comes into account.
Absolutely, and the brake bias is probably jacked up, trying to get yourself to
Yeah.
get the car to turn a little bit better going into the corners. So there's a lot of variables there, but those variables all stack up, and they mean something on track. And we had David Comstock running so good earlier. I'm not saying he's running bad now, but he's lost a lot of ground to the leader, and now he's got Justin Fuller all over his bumper trying to take that spot away from him.
Yeah, we've talked about Comstock there. Sometimes you just don't have as good as a run. Maybe he attacked that run a little bit different. He could maybe still he's kind of saving his stuff a little bit. We're kind of counting our laps down here. Yeah, we only got 25 laps to go, so we can't wait too long. But yeah, Comstock does seem to be struggling a little bit on this run. But he's still in the top 10 there, still in 8th place. He might be able to hold off, or still in 7th place, might be able to hold off Fuller.
Well, right now he's getting ready, it looks like to me, to pass up Daniel Falkingham. I'm guessing maybe either Daniel hadn't pitted yet, or maybe he took 2 tires, but he's definitely a lot slower than all the cars that he was. Because remember, he was up there in between Chad Cole and Adam Gilliland, and now we see him falling all the way back to, put him back to 8th now. So
yeah,
I'm not really sure what's going on with that car.
Looks like he's going to probably catch up to that number 15 car, too. It looks like he's
Comstock's definitely moving, so I'm not sure what happened with those guys. Maybe they haven't pit yet. I have no idea. Because
maybe they took 2. I didn't pay
yeah.
attention. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to what they were doing. They might have just took 2. Who knows?
That's my guess. But whatever the reason, Comstock's moving up to the field, but he's still, at the moment, 7 seconds behind Gilliland and 9 seconds behind Doyle Woods, who still has yet to pit. That we know. I'm sure that we can see, Woods coming in soon because he's getting close to the fuel limit as well. Lap 112 going by, and he last pitted on, lap 65. So that's almost 60 laps on fuel. So he's in that window for fuel.
Yeah, he's going to be coming down pit road any time now. He's definitely got to. As you see, Adam Gilliland's right there on him, about to pass him for first.
Like he's standing still. Look at that. That's insane, man. So we're going to go ahead and put Gilliland back to the lead there and move Doy back to second for now. Trey Edson third, Chad Cole fourth, Nick Silver fifth. That's your top 5 as they sit at the moment. But, folks, anything could change. Don't go away. We're going to go corner to corner, throw in a little bit of business here, get some bills paid, and then when we're back, we'll talk some more about this race. We'll be back.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And welcome back to Las Vegas, folks. Hope you didn't miss anything there with our corner to corner. Don and I have been talking. Doyle Woods has fallen back fast. I mean, he's just been passed up by Trey Edson, so he's going to push him back to 4th and 3rd. Comstock's fixing to catch him right here shortly. I'm surprised, Don, that he is really trying to stretch this fuel mileage out like this. He can't make it all the way from here. We've got about 26 laps, 28 laps, something like that, and he's already been on track for 65 laps. I just don't know how he's going to make it.
I have no idea how he's going to make it, but yeah, I don't know if I was looking, listening to his car earlier, and it just sounds like he's really rolling off the throttle, saving a lot of fuel. But I mean, maybe he can get this thing to the end, but I'm not really sure what it's going to do for him because he's falling off a lot right now.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if he can make it in right now. Everybody else can because they've already pitted. Mm-hmm. So all he's doing right now is shooting himself in the foot, and honestly, his bed's been made. Even if he doesn't pit, he's going to lose a lot of spots. If he does pit, he's going to lose a lot of spots and probably run out of fuel. I don't know. But I wish him luck. That's all I'm going to say about that. Back up to the front, folks. It's still the 81 of Adam Gilliland, our pole sitter. Fell back a little ways during the first part of the race. Started picking his way back up to the front. He's up there now. He's got a 3.6 second lead over Chad Cole after those green flag pit stops. 3rd place is Trey Edson. He's back there a little, not too far back, about a little over a second from Chad Cole. 4th place is Dave Comstock, somebody we talked about a lot tonight. He's 6.3 seconds back from our leader. And their 5th place driver is still Justin Fuller in that 5 car, looking pretty strong right now. But right now, he and Mike Kelly have been kind of like trading that spot out. And Nick Silver back there in that 15 is just kind of watching this whole thing go, Don.
Yeah, I think Mike Kelly might have something to say about that 5th place spot right now because he's definitely been all over Justin Fuller, and Fuller's been able to hold him off, but Kelly's right there, man. He's right on his back bumper, and he's been peeking to the inside, the outside. He's trying to pick a spot right now to be able to get by him and get that 5th position.
Oh, he got a little loose there in the trial. Was going to cost him a little bit of momentum going down into the turn, but I tell you what, he wants a podium finish. You can just see that the way he's driving right now. He's very fierce and very, adamant about getting by this car. We got a lap car that's all tore up right in front of him. Wow, they couldn't have cut that any closer, I don't think. But I think it'd be great to see Mike Kelly get himself a podium finish tonight.
Oh, I'd love to see Mike Kelly get a podium finish, especially, him being a little under the weather, coming back and doing this great, the race he did last night. You said he raced last night. And, yeah, I think it'd be a good little morale boost for him, help him out there.
Absolutely. So, we've had our last, basically, well, unless a caution comes out, Don, we've had our last pit stop for the night. Do you think anybody's got anything for Adam Gilliland up there with a 3.5 second lead now?
I don't think Chad Cole's got anything for him. He's got such a commanding lead right now, and it's basically, unless a caution comes out, this is pretty much his race to lose. He's being so smooth. He's doing everything right. He's hitting his marks. Car looks great. He's, his tire run is not going to be as bad as the tire runs we've seen as far as the length goes. He's got a pretty good little cruise here to the end if he can just basically just bring it home is all he needs to do now.
Really? He doesn't have to push his car too hard at all. He's not fighting anybody for position. He's not holding anybody off, so he can take the easiest line around this track that's easiest on his tires and just make sure that he's got something at the end of this run. His lead is still getting bigger, believe it or not.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
He just gained another 10th on Chad Cole. Like you said, it's his race to lose. So let's see if we can find us a battle somewhere on this track. Somebody fighting for a spot. That looks like Mitch Rollo just passed up his teammate there, Kevin DeBrown, in that 93, but the 96 up to 31st. I don't even think that was a fight. That wasn't even a fight for position. Mitch Rollo is down a couple of laps there. It looks like 3 laps. Yeah, he must have had another pit stop issue. Poor Mitch, man. His pit stops have been biting him in the butt all night.
Yeah, he's been struggling all night, but hey, he's still out there, still fighting, still trying to get as many points as he possibly can.
And that's what matters right now. He can still gain a couple of spots. He's only 3 laps down, and we're just now coming to about 10 to go when the leader comes back by. So he can still make up a couple of spots for anybody. These guys drop out anytime soon. But that's right here, taking the flag. We got 10 to go, and I mean, again, it looks to me like Gilliland's got this thing pretty much wrapped up, Don.
Yeah, Chad caught him a little bit there, took that 10th back, but does it really matter when it's almost 3.5 seconds? I don't think he's just going to have enough time at all. 10 laps to go. Unless we have a yellow and this pack bunches back up, they're going to have a yellow quick, too, because iRacing does not, we've talked about it before, iRacing does not do overtime racing at all. So if we get a yellow here in the closing, maybe, 2, 3, 4 laps, there's a good chance the race is just going to be over. So a lot of guys have got to think about that, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, what we could say is if this race gets to lap 130, it's over regardless of next flag, because if there's a caution, they're not going to go back to green by then. But in the meantime, wow, Chad Cole has actually closed up 2 more tenths off that lead. Maybe he was saving, Don.
Yeah, but if he was saving, I think it's a little too late to try to pounce.
We'll see here. He's got a little less than 10 laps to go to do it. He's got about 8 or 9 laps left, and but he's definitely got a good chunk to change between himself and Trey Edson back there in third. But Edson's got his hands full with Dave Comstock. That 42 Comstock has caught him, and he's put a lot of pressure on Edson for that podium finish, that 3rd spot right there.
Well, little birdie told me that Comstock knew that I would be interviewing him if he gets that 3rd place finish. So I think that's his motivation right now to be able to try to get by Trey Edson.
You better start working on your cute little nickname for him, because I don't have one yet.
I don't have one either. I can't think of one.
I'm telling you, man. We'll call him Mr. Smooth. I mean, that's a pretty accurate nickname right there, right?
It's definitely been that way tonight, because he's battling with Trey for that third position, and they're side by side right now as they cross the line. But I think Comstock's probably going to be able to get it. Trey's not going to give it up too easy, though.
No, but right there, you talked about earlier, it's a slide job.
Yeah.
Dirt track style right there. He took it in deep low and was able to slide up in front of the 40, and we're going to go ahead and move Comstock up to that podium finish of 3rd place right there. Unless Edson's got something to say, I think Comstock's pulling away from him there.
Yeah, I do too. It looked like Edson tried to pull a little crossover on him, but he just didn't quite have the momentum and speed to do it, and it looks like Comstock's pretty much got that 3rd place locked up right there.
Well, Comstock gave a little wiggle coming out of 4 right there, almost like a salute back there to Edson.
He was just letting him know, hey, what's up? How you doing? I just wanted to let you know I took this position.
See ya. That's about it. But, man, what a race, though. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Don. I did not expect these green flag stretches out of the A-car at Las Vegas.
I didn't either, actually. And, we were talking about Chad Cole. He's kind of almost taking a second off of that lead, but he's just not going to have enough time, I think, to catch him. He really isn't.
Nope, 5 laps to go right there at the line that time by, 5 laps. But he, like you said, he's chopped that lead down a full second in the last 2. So I don't know, but I think he just waited a little too long. Well, we're going to get to ask him here shortly. If he stays in 2nd place, we'll be giving him a post-race interview. And you can ask him that. Hey, dude, what the hell were you waiting on?
Yeah, and I'll ask him just like that. But we have the lap car kind of in front of the leader there. So, that might come into play a little bit, but I don't think so. I pretty much think Adam's got this well in hand here.
Down to 2.2 that time by 2.3 seconds. So another 2/10 knocked off. I don't know. I wonder if Gilliland realizes that Comstock's catching him that fast. Or does he care?
I don't think he cares at this point. I mean, we're almost done here. I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem for him.
I was just corrected. I'm sorry, folks. That's Chad Cole, not Comstock. We've been talking too much about Comstock tonight there, Don. Well, our leaders just passed up a couple of lap cars there, and it did slow him down a little bit, but that lead actually kind of went back out there for Gilliland over Chad Cole. So, again, if he's smooth these next couple of laps here, this race is his to lose. I'll tell you what, he's got this thing wrapped up, I think.
Yeah, the thing about having to catch the lap cars is so does the guy behind him. He's got to, Chad Cole would have to deal with the lap cars too, but he's just not going to have enough time here. We only have a couple laps left, and it looks like this is going to be Adams to lose here.
Absolutely. This time by will be lap 133, 2 laps to go. They get that signal from the flag stand right there. 2 laps to go, and Gilliland still kind of wheeling his way here through traffic. It's Gilliland in first, Chad Cole second, Dave Comstock back there in third now, Edson in fourth, and still Justin Fuller bringing out your top 5. And folks, this has been a pretty good race so far. Maybe not quite the excitement you were looking for with wrecks and everything, but that's not what we want to see. We like to see some good green flag racing, but it's kind of settled down here over the long run there, Don.
Yeah, tires are definitely something that separated the men from the boys here tonight, as we see that number 81 Chevy. He's basically going to have this thing wrapped up well in hand here as we see him
That's
come
right.
to the corner.
They've taken the white flag. This is the last lap for Adam Gilliland and that number 81 Chevy Camaro. What is that? gmercer.com on the side of that thing?
G Mercer Trucking.
G Mercer Trucking Chevy Camaro ZL1
Gary Mercer
coming through
Trucking, sorry.
Gary Mercer, I'm sorry. Coming through turns 3 and 4 down to the triangle for the final time, taking the checkered flag. Adam Gilliland is the winner of tonight's Transervice Cup Series race for the Sim500 League. Brought to you on the Sim Racing Network, folks. If you'll give us a few minutes here, we're going to let you watch these burnouts. I'm sure Gilliland's going to do. He's got plenty of fuel left to do it this time. Last night, we had the winners running out of fuel. Couldn't even do their burnouts, man. But tonight, the 81 finishes first. Chad Cole is coming home second. David Comstock third. Trey Edson fourth. Justin Fuller fifth. Mike Kelly sixth. Nick Silver seventh. Tommy Ryan 8th, Anthony DeBarro 9th, and Gabriel Perry in 10th. And I'll tell you what, Don, take a look at Mike Kelly. He finished 6th tonight, came from 30th spot to do it.
That is a great run for him. Definitely the hard charger of the night. Yeah, here in Vegas, where we know the passing was really difficult to do and everything, he was just on point, and that's a great place for him to be able to bring home that number 2 for him.
Absolutely. Folks, we're going to take a break. We're going to leave it on corner to corner so you can watch these burnouts that Gilliland's fixing to do. When we come back, we'll give you some post-race interviews from our top 3.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Hello and welcome back to Las Vegas. I hope you folks are still around out there because we're about to do some interviews here. But before we get to that part, I just want to say again, thank you for tuning in. This was the Transervice Cup Series for Sim500 guys. You can catch us on Facebook. Just look for the the Sim Racing Network. You can catch us on Twitch at the Sim Racing Network and on YouTube for the Sim Racing Network. Just search that and you will find us. Give us a like, give us one of those thumbs ups, and give us a follow, and you'll get notifications of when we go live. And if I'm not mistaken, our very own Don, Mr. Happy Runkle Jr., has caught up with our third place driver, Dave Comstock, who really earned that third place tonight. Don, you got him?
Yeah, I'm down here next to the number 42, Mr. Smooth tonight. We've been calling him all night, Mr. Dave Comstock. Been able to take care of those tires, had a good run tonight. Just came up a couple positions short, but we did see him up front. And, yeah, third place tonight. How do you feel about your run tonight, Mr. Comstock?
Felt good, just a few seconds short. I couldn't have the speed on the long run. I mean, well, it was more so short run. They take off a lot better than I was able to. And I was able to keep up from after about 15 laps or so pretty good. as long as I was staying smooth as much as I was, but every little slip up, just everybody's on top of their game when you're up at the front. So any kind of slip up you have, it's gonna cost you. So, but overall, good performance. Keeping the top five, top tens, going, and just try to stay consistent all season long here.
Yeah, we were, pretty much focused on you a lot of the night, just talking about how smooth you were, because you were really smooth compared to a lot of the guys out there. And, tire wear seemed to be a huge issue as far as the drop off. How important was it to save those tires early on in the run to be able to carry you through the longer run?
Yeah, it was huge, especially the right rear. As we went along, it got really loose off the corners, and even down the straightaways, the front stretch there. If we weren't careful, it would start to step out a little bit. So it's kind of similar as last week, just not as abrasive, not as bad, but a lot of similarities. And so we had a lot of the same guys up front. I'm not sure what happened with Rolo. I saw him up there, I think, at one point. I'm not sure what happened to him because he was really good last week. But congrats on Adam there with the win. He's really good in this car, and last hurrah for this package as we get an update with the service here. So it's going to be interesting to see what the new package will bring for us here.
It's funny you touch on that. Just quickly, curious, how do you feel about the new package coming out tomorrow with a new update and less horsepower, different things that they're doing? How do you feel about that package personally?
I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather have us more power than what we already got right now, and just wish that these things weren't sealed off on the ground as much as they are either. Just get them off the ground and get rid of the splitter, back to how it used to be 10 years ago. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, purist, I see, but definitely, we got Dave Comstock. You want anybody you got to thank out there? Maybe a sponsor, somebody that might be watching. You want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, everybody Aftermath Motorsports, all our teammates we had on running tonight. Again, Giller at the win, Trey, Fuller, EJ, all of us out there running. Good to see the support from our team to support the series and Sim500 and what the admins put out for us, and you guys broadcasting and sponsoring the car. RatesandBiz.com. Go to Facebook every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Got live auctions there. Really cool merchandise, NASCAR merchandise, racing merchandise. It's always out there. You can go try to get your hands on and put bids in to go get. Also, we got Carolina Doors and Windows in the car. New sponsor with us here that just come on board this past week. So they're located in the Charlotte area. Check them out on Facebook as well. JDLA Graphics for painting the new car. Looks really awesome. Really clean. Glad I didn't do anything to put any damage on it. So it's been clean all year long so far. So thanks to JD and all the fans out there watching. You guys, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations on your third place finish. That's Mr. Dave Comstock right there, driver of the number 42.
Thank you for that, Don. Great interview there. I'll tell you what, it's always fun to watch guys like Dave Comstock on track, man. Just so smooth in and off these turns and just really knows how to take care of his equipment. I've actually learned quite a bit just watching these guys the last few weeks. And if I'm not mistaken, Don, he wasn't too far from our second place runner, Chad Cole, was he?
Yeah, I had to run down here. Caught Chad Cole over here at the hot dog stand after the race, getting a little snack. And Mr. Chad Cole over here, second place finish. How do you feel about your run tonight, Chad?
Second place sucks, but when you finish second to a pro, I mean, it's nice to be rubbing elbows with some of these guys. It's a good confidence builder, especially after the rough start we had at Daytona and last week at Atlanta. So we're getting it pointed in the right direction. It felt good to lead some laps. Adam was definitely the class of the field tonight. I benefited from some cars that stayed out on the first caution, and he got trapped behind them, and that's how I kind of got out there to the lead, and it felt good to lead some laps, but we'll take them any way we can get them. Anytime we can talk with Uncle Runkle after the race, it's a good night.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me too, Chad. We noticed there at the end, it looked like you were actually catching Adam there in the last 10 laps. It was almost as like you saved your tires and maybe just waited a little bit too long to pounce.
Yeah, at a lap, I think one lap fresher tires, maybe two, and that was kind of the difference there. I kind of like to rather be the hunter than the hunted, and but he was just too fast anyway. So I mean, there's nothing I could do there. I started searching around the lines a little bit, trying to go high in 3 and 4 and work the bottom in 1 and 2, and I wasn't really catching them a whole lot. Maybe on the bottom of the 1 and 2 was probably better than anything else, but it was a good race. I pretty worn out after that one. These cars are very difficult to drive. I'm definitely going to miss them. It's the last race with this style of car on the 1.5 mile tracks. We'll still have it next week at Phoenix, from what I understand. But they're a handful, but they're a lot of fun at the same time.
Oh, we talked about the new package with Mr. Comstock there. How do you feel about the new package as far as, I mean, are you looking forward to the less horsepower? Do you kind of agree with Dave? He kind of feels like they need more horsepower and maybe, get these cars off the ground a little bit more and all this. He more of a purist, he was saying. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm definitely on board with David on that situation. The more horsepower and the less downforce, the better to make the guys drive it. It's not supposed to be easy, and right now the Cup guys they have it about as easy as the Xfinity in the Truck Series, and that's really not a lot of fun when you take the car out of the hand of the driver. And we really like to challenge ourselves and let the cream rise to the top. And I'm just pretty stoked about this run tonight. I'm just kind of lost for words with Uncle Runkle at the hot dog stand.
Yeah. I'll be sharing a hot dog there with you in a minute. You got any other people you want to thank? Any sponsors? Maybe anybody out there watching that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Transervice for hopping on board this year. Mitch painted my car, and I gotta say, it's one of the best looking cars we got out there. And also SRN for the job you guys do with the broadcast. I always enjoy going back and watching you and John Mustang go back and forth, and it's good chemistry, and enjoy watching you guys do your thing.
Oh, we appreciate that very much, and thank you very much for your time here. I'll let you get back to your hot dog. We got our second place finisher there, Mr. Chad Fat Cat Cole himself.
Thank you.
Hey, don't forget my hot dog. Sorry.
He probably already finished it off.
It's gone.
Hey. Well, I have worked myself down here to Victory Circle. Adam, it looks like they ate all the hot dogs, man. Don and Cole just ate all the hot dogs. We have no hot dogs left.
Oh, that sucks. I really would have liked one.
I'm saying, man, they could have thought about us. Man, oh my gosh, Adam, what are we going to do with you, man? You come into this race tonight. You qualify on the pole. You ran the fastest lap in the race. If I'm not mistaken, it looks to me like you ran and led most of the laps, and you finished 2.5 seconds ahead of Chad Cole in second, man. Talk to me about your race.
Yeah, no, it was a good race. We started on the pole, like you said, and felt like we had a good rhythm there going, and we had an early caution on lap 4. I elected to pit. We had a few guys that stayed out, and I just drew a bad straw on the restart, having the bottom guy in front of me spun the tires, so that allowed Chad to get out front. But, I mean, Chad was extremely stout on the long ride. I think it was really whoever got out front there. Not even saying that iRacing has dirty air, but it just seemed like Chad, I couldn't really reel him in after I got to second. He was just really good at in modulating the throttle and not getting loose on corner exit over the long runs.
So let me get your input on something. As you know, there's a new build coming out tonight, so this is our last race with this package. Are you excited about the new package coming out? The last two guys don't seem to be thrilled about it.
I am in a way. I don't know. I kind of think that I'm assuming that they were probably, talking about that it's kind of going to make it to where everyone's going to be in the gas the whole time, and it's going to be hard to pass, and it's really going to take a lot of skill out of it. So I'm kind of in the same boat with them on that. But at the same time, I always like trying stuff new. Every time iRacing comes out with these new builds, I look forward to the challenge and learning it and seeing how you can get better with it. So in a way, I can agree with them. But on the other hand, I always like new challenges and stuff to get used to.
I'm with you on that, man. Well, I'll tell you what, that was a fantastic run we watched you put down tonight. You were weaving in and out of traffic there at the end, and we really didn't know if Cole had anything for you or not. I think you waited just a little bit too long there, but congratulations again on your victory. Do you have anybody you want to thank for it tonight?
Yeah, I'm just really going to give a shout out to my buddy Brennan Mercer. He's been supporting me a long time, back to my peak career with Gary Mercer Trucking Inc. So been a long time since I did an interview in that series. Got to give a shout out to him, and really just you guys at Sim Racing Network for broadcasting this and all the admins at Sim500. It's a great league, and happy to be a part of it.
Well, Adam, we appreciate that, and we appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for putting on one hell of a show tonight. Great win. Congratulations again.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
You too, sir. That was Adam Gilliland, the leader and winner at that checkered flag. I tell you what, Don, a nice kid to talk to.
Nice kid, a lot of talent, just brought it home tonight. Dominating performance, 2.5 second. It's over the second place finisher of Chad Cole, and at one point we saw him, even 3.5, 4 seconds in the lead. But just a great race tonight. He had a great run.
Well, he put it all together. I mean, he had a great practice run. I think he was third fastest in practice. Qualified on the pole, backed that up with the fastest lap in the race. Took care of his stuff, stayed out of trouble, and came home with that victory tonight. A few notes here, folks, for you before we sign off for the night. We had 134 laps, only 2 cautions all night long, like they brought up earlier in the interviews there. First one was pretty quick, came out of lap 4. The second one was a little bit later than that. And, 11 lead changes. That's not too bad, Don, for a long green flag run that we had like that.
No, definitely not. Especially, it's how hard it is to pass here at the track like this. Progressive banking, track temperatures, the tire wear, fall off. It was very difficult to pass here, but still a very exciting race.
Well, next week we'll be heading to Phoenix with, I don't know if I understood them correctly or not. Are they going to be running the old package or new package over there?
I do believe for the short tracks, it's going to be the old package. I'm not exactly sure because that's kind of what Chad Cole said, but my producer's telling me yes. For the shorter tracks, it's still the old package. I think the only tracks that are going to be affected are the bigger ones like this, the mile and a half,
the cookie cutters, yeah.
Yeah, cookie cutters, mile or higher, I think is what. Yeah, that's what my producer is telling me.
And our producer knows everything and sees everything.
That's right. He speaks into our ear.
That's right. Well, folks, that's going to do it for the John, Don, and Double Aaron show tonight. We're going to be signing off here from Vegas. Don, before we leave, any last thoughts?
I'm just looking forward to next week, Phoenix. Get back to a little bit of short track action there, and out in the desert. Going to be a hot track. Going to be a lot of fast racing, a lot of passing. I look really forward to it.
That's right, the West Coast swing, folks. Well, as for my final thoughts, again, I just want to say that Dylan, wherever you are, man, we miss you. Really fine job that Ben and Kevin did representing a great young man who was just a great guy. Also, my thoughts, prayers, and heart, and just go out to the folks in Alabama. As a guy who lives in southern Louisiana, I've been through horrible weather like that, Katrina and Rita. I've seen that devastation up close, so I feel for every single one of you out there. Folks, please be safe on those roads wherever you are. Be safe in the weather. Look at your weather reports. Make sure you're not going to step out unprepared for anything. And take care of each other. Above all, take care of each other and smile more often. God bless each and every one of you. For John, Don, Uncle Runkle Jr., and Adam Grosskopf, we're out.